I've been riding my Build Kit Board Duo board. It's a long thing. Build Kit Board Duo board for a couple weeks now, and it seriously rips. This thing is out of control. So first off, like and subscribe. We try to make videos every week about different things, like one wheels and electric bikes, and we were doing a lot of travel stuff until, well, COVID. But if you want something in particular about something that we have, just let me know. I'll try to make a video about that. Today, I want to show you guys a range test I filmed today, give you my overall kind of review of the whole board. Now, I've ridden one wheels for a while now. I had a Pint, I have the XR, then I got an EUC, as you saw if you watched some of my previous videos. It wasn't for me, but I still wanted something with more speed and possibly more range, or at least the ability to be like more customizable. So I looked into e-skates. And I'm super stoked I did. When I first started the range test today, as I was riding, I was going about 20 something miles an hour, and I went through an entire swarm of bees. I got hit in the face by a bunch of bees. They were all over my jacket and inside my jacket. It was sketchy, but I didn't fall, so that says something that the board is really stable.
Get bees! I went through a complete swarm of bees! All right, back to the range test.
The setup I have right now has a 48 tooth wheel pulley and a 15 tooth motor pulley. It is so fast. Even with these huge 120 millimeter wheels, it's screaming. It's going like 27, 28 miles an hour. And I'm feeling really steady on it, to be honest. It feels fine, even at those speeds. Now, the acceleration is out of control. I don't know what the actual modes are called, I forgot, but there's 3 modes, and I'm just, for this video, gonna call them low, medium, and high. Low is what I let my friends ride it at when they first try it, and even that from a stop, if you just gun it, if you're not ready, it could throw you off the board. Definitely on medium, the board will come up right out from under you, but that's the mode I ride on the most, is medium. You just gotta be ready for the acceleration. But at medium, when you're rolling, if you jam the throttle, it still can throw you off, even at like a 15, 18 mile an hour speed. If you just throw it all the way down, if you're not ready for it, it's gonna toss you. And then the high mode is out of control. It will like burn out if you're on sand. You can be going 25 miles an hour and fully throttle it, and I feel like I'm gonna get thrown off the board. It's so strong. Now, it's super fun to have. It's like a drag racing mode is the way I think about it, but I usually stick into either low because my top speed is still the same. I can still go 27, 26, 28 miles an hour. In the low mode, it just takes a longer time to get there, and it just tones down the acceleration. So I ride in that. Whenever I'm around a lot of people, I just put it in the low mode. That way I can just kind of jam on the throttle more, and it doesn't, huck me off the board. But speed and acceleration, I don't think you're gonna be left wanting. If you put street wheels on this and the right pulley setup, which you can order directly from BKB, the board's estimated to go like over 40 miles an hour, depending on your rider weight and stuff like that. But it is so fast. The deck itself, so it's 42.5 inches long. Now they have 2 different levels of flex. You can get flex 1 or flex 2 depending on your weight. I got flex 1, I'm 135 pounds. So that it's so nice. I'm going over like really bumpy stuff, and it just soaks up all the vibrations. I absolutely love it, having the flex in the deck. And the only thing I could want, to be honest, is maybe the option to have a little bit shorter of a deck, because the turning radius is kind of wide because it's such a long deck. And also maybe the option of finding one that has flex but a kicktail, which it's super hard to find that type of a board. So if you know of one that's a nice flexy deck but has a kicktail, throw it in the comments below. The motors themselves seem really well built. The amount of torque that they produce is crazy. Going up like the biggest hills, I'm just crushing it up the hills, no problem at all. Going 20 something miles an hour up the hill, like just powering it. It's super fun, and that's with these giant cloud wheels. So it's the torque and stuff, it's out of control. The sound of the motors is really cool. They're not super high pitched, but it sounds kind of like a little jet engine. I love it. I really didn't like the look of the deck though, just the clear grip tape. That's either you like it or you don't. I personally didn't really like it. and it gets dirty kind of quick. So a hair dryer, heat that thing up, pull that grip tape off and put whatever you want on. I got mine from Splatter Goat. I laid out the design in Photoshop and then I sent it in and had it custom made. The cloud wheels are cool. They have some caveats. I'd never ridden them before. I just ordered them with them. I like that I'm pretty confident going over rough terrain, like in the street, little rocks and stuff. I hear them getting kicked out all the time. So I'm definitely hitting them and hitting them at like a really fast speed. And it's just kicking them out of the way. So that's cool. The longevity of them, I don't know yet. I do wish that more of a contact patch actually hit the ground with the wheel. And then they do not grip at all if it's wet. Something to really consider. They're cool though. I feel like they're just really big street wheels. They're not all-terrain wheels. They're just really big street wheels. The remote feels really nice in my hand. It has like a rubberized texture. I like that. The wheel itself is pretty responsive. It charges through micro USB. Kind of wish it was USB-C. Not the end of the world. And I do wish it had a screen on it. It has 4 LEDs to tell you the battery charge that you have. And that's okay, but it's not a percent. So today I ran out of juice. I went all the way down to 0 on this ride. And you know, if I would have been able to look down and see I have like 5% instead of just a bar, you might be able to gauge it a little bit better. Now I know that you could use other remotes. Like I'm looking at the VX2, this is the VX1 that has a little screen in it. Maybe I'll pick that up down the road. It'd be cool though if you could just get it in the kit. So maybe that's an option in the future they could add where you could choose different remotes, or like that Hoyt puck if you wanted, even just bundle it in. But the remote works. I haven't had any connectivity issues at all. It's been fine. It leads me to my next thing though, which is the VESC. So it runs a VESC as the ESC in this board. So you can do so much more customizing of how the board actually rides, the speeds you can get, the configurations, than anything you can get from the $1,000 kind of range boards that I've seen. The $800 boards like the X-Way Flex and the Backfire Zealot and those boards. I was like, these are cool, but I have no ability to change it or tweak it at all, which I don't think I'm going to do all the time, but maybe I will in the future. Maybe I want to do a different motor and I want to switch it up. It's not just like everything's out the door. I can reuse this stuff and build upon it. So it's almost future-proof in a way. At least the parts can be reused into new builds in the future, which is super cool. The portability, this thing is big. It's not that heavy, but it is big. So it fit in Amy's trunk of her Mazda 3. It just had an angle. It does fit in there, but it is a large board. And it's, you know, you don't want to put that grip tape like across like your seats and mess them up. So if portability is your thing, probably not the board for you. The app that Build Kit Boards recommends using is called Xmatic if you're on an iOS device. It kind of sucks. It's okay, but today like it glitched out on my ride. It didn't record all the data or anything, which is kind of a bummer. But I think a remote in the future would be cool for me that has a little screen in it that I can just see the voltage on, or even just a gauge on the board. I might add one. I can do that, just wire it in, it's fine. So there's options. That's what's cool about this. I was also running Strava though, which is good. So that one got my whole activity is what they call it. I went 16.72 miles. I had an elevation gain of 220 feet. I rode for an hour and 9 minutes. My average speed was 14.5 miles an hour. My max speed, it's saying, was 28.6 miles an hour. So this board is super fast, over 28 miles an hour, but that's pretty good. I was expecting to hopefully around like 15 miles. Now this is real world. I was on a bike path. It was smooth the whole way, but there were long grades where it was not a huge elevation change, but a long time uphill. There was headwinds. It's just like normal riding conditions. 16.72 miles on 120 millimeter cloud wheels. It's pretty solid. So you can get $50 off the board. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that if you're looking to buy one. It helps out the channel and it gets you $50 off, which is sweet. It's a really fast board. It's a really fun board. I highly recommend picking one up if you're looking for a big cruiser board like this that can go super fast, has a ton of power, so much torque, it's out of control, really tunable, really customizable. It's definitely the board you want to be looking at. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer them, and I'll see you guys next time.